Good evening, folks. Yeah, it's been a long day today, and this is my final check-in for the evening. Uh, yeah, we walked about 31 kilometers today. We started out at about 7 o'clock or so, just a little after 7 o'clock. Didn't get to my hotel until about 5:30 tonight, and so it was a really long day today. Very tired. We're all really tired. So the rest of the gang are staying in another hotel a little further down. I have my own private room tonight. I'm not sharing in like an albergue or anything tonight. So I really needed it. I'm gonna have a shower and I'm just gonna go to bed. Um, I did go out for dinner tonight, and just down the road. I just wanted something simple. Now, the one thing here is that restaurants don't open till 8, so you're looking at basically bar food if you want to get dinner or get anything to eat before 8 o'clock, because restaurants don't won't serve you dinner or serve you a proper meal until after 8 o'clock at night. Well, sometimes that's a little late for us, because we're getting into town, we're tired, we just want something to eat, we just want to go, we want to retire to our hotel room or our albergue or whatever, and 8 o'clock is just too damn late, and it's unfortunate, but that's the way it is here in Spain. Restaurants, yeah, you good luck. You're not going to find a restaurant that's open, but you will find these little cafes and whatnot. You might be able to get a burger or something. So unfortunately, as a result of that, we usually find ourselves eating not the healthiest food. But it is what it is. Unless you're willing to wait until 8 o'clock. But anyway, I did find this cute little place though. So as I was walking through, it's kind of starting to get a little dark, and there was this castle, and I had to get a picture of the castle as I'm walking through the past the square and all that sort of stuff. And I found this cute little place, and they had all this weird paraphernalia, like stuff from movies, Star Wars and E.T., and they were playing 80s music, and they had like lights hanging from like string lights and stuff hanging from the ceiling, and the place was just filled with 80s junk, 80s stuff, old stuff, from the 80s, maybe the early 90s or whatever. And it was kind of interesting. I actually quite enjoyed it in there. It was just kind of neat just to look around and just see all the paraphernalia. I'm sure there was some stuff in there that was probably collectors, so that was kind of cool. That's where I had dinner tonight. I would say the highlight of the day today was, of course, the Iron Cross. So, of course, this means something to everybody. You bring a rock from home or something, and it's supposed to signify something, and what you're working on or whatever. And when you're leaving it there, you're leaving, like you're leaving the past, or you're leaving whatever it is you're working on, something like that. You're leaving it, behind, and it's all about moving forward. It's supposed to be very spiritual and everything. And there's a lot of rocks up there. And I had brought a rock from Prince George, and from Forest for the World in particular. And I found this little rock and stuff. And for me, I would have to say, because I've gone through so many changes this year. I mean, I've literally like blew up my life, basically. I completely blew up my life earlier this year, and I'm going through massive changes in my life, and so the rock represents, moving forward in my life. It represents that, but also what I have noticed is, as I've been on this journey, and I've been gone almost a month now, on the Camino, and I'm really appreciating home. I miss home, and I miss the people that I left at home. I I'm I realize um, the value of friends and family at home, everything, and we often take that for granted. And when you're in another country, and you're around strangers, people they're not your family and stuff, and you're in a completely different country, and they have different customs, different language, everything else, and if you're on your own, you really realize how much you miss home, and although I've met some fantastic people here on the Camino, and I'm hanging out with a group of people I really like, and I've been with these guys, since basically my third day on the Camino and everything, and and I really really appreciate them and everything, but I miss home, and I miss everybody at home, and I miss all my family, I miss my friends at home, and you really appreciate that. And so that rock represented home, and it's not that I was leaving home behind, but it was like it was because there's like that's like a piece of me. It's home, and so I left it at the Iron Cross, and so it signified not only home, it signified also new beginnings and everything too. There's a whole mishmash of stuff all mixed in with this, and so that's kind of like ballpark. That's kind of what it means for me, new beginnings and everything. But also it means home, and so now the Iron Cross has a little piece of home in it, and it will always be there forever. Uh, a little piece of Prince George. It will always be there forever, and yeah. So that was the meaning for me. But anyway, I got a lot of video footage and pictures and stuff. We left very early this morning. It was pitch black when we left, so I was so glad that I had my headlamp. It would have been impossible to walk. We were walking up mountain trails and stuff, rocks, treacherous, very treacherous trails and stuff, and you can't see a thing without your lamp. Like, you have to have a lamp, and so very important. And then the sunrise. The sunrise was absolutely spectacular this morning. So I'll show you guys that. Incredibly spectacular. Yeah, the trail itself, some of the worst trail I've ever walked on, I've walked on today, and it was also the longest day. Walked on very treacherous, uh, very rocky, lots of loose rock and stuff, and easily, like, you could easily break an ankle or break a leg on some of the trails that we walked today, and coming down steep slopes and stuff, lots of rocks. I was very glad that I replaced my walking stick, because I lost my. You may have noticed that I never had seemed to have a walking stick. Well, that's because, like, I lost my walking stick after the first week of being on the Camino. I'd left it somewhere, and yeah. And anyway, I never bothered to get another one. But when we were in Astorga, I bought another walking stick, and I'm glad that I did, because the trail was really truly treacherous today. So hopefully we don't have too much more of that coming up. So tomorrow we do have a big hike. Now there is some controversy. Bill says we have a 28-kilometer hike coming up tomorrow. Other information is telling me that it's only a 23-kilometer hike. Who knows? I'm not 100% sure. I may have to check, the maps myself. But the problem with Google Maps is it goes by the road. It doesn't necessarily go by the Camino Trail. Now, if you go by the Camino Trail, the trail doesn't actually follow the quickest route. And so the Camino Trail tends to be longer than what Google Maps says it is. Like, Google Maps is like, if you're traveling by the road, or, trails by the road, then it tends to be a shorter trip. but then you're walking along road all the way, and you know, you're not on the Camino trail. So yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what it ends up being. This is a very long monologue. I'm sorry, guys. And I think this is going to be a long video because I got a ton of footage. So strap in, go grab yourself a drink, whatever it is you want to do or whatever. Just sit down and enjoy the upcoming footage that I'm about to put on. Okay, so talk to you guys later. Bye for now. We have started out very early this morning. Started out at 7 o'clock. It's now 8 o'clock. There's lots of clouds overhead. Just a slight bit of rain. But boy, look at that sunrise. It is pitch black out here. I'm so glad that I have a headlamp. Otherwise, I never would have made it up this hill. So we're in a constant climb. And hopefully it's light before we get to the Iron Cross. I'm not sure exactly where the Iron Cross is, but hopefully it's light. Everybody's way up ahead. See? That's how dark it is. Look, I'm pointing it at the ground. That's how dark it is. Okay, I'm going to turn on my light just so you can have an idea. There. There we go. It is so dark out here. And we're doing a constant climb. We've been climbing ever since we left the town. Very dangerous, lots of loose rocks. You have to watch every single step. There is no way you would be able to do this in the dark without a headlamp. Absolutely no way. So I met up with the gang at 7 o'clock in the town, and we all moved out together, all 6 of us. They went on ahead because I wanted to get some pictures of the sunrise and some video, so I just let them go on ahead. I'll catch up to them. They're a lot slower than I am. Whew, look at all these rocks. Yeah. Very easy to break an ankle here or something. Very easy. Okay. All right. Talk to you guys in a bit. So we just got our first We just got our first glimpse of the Cruz de Ferra, the Iron Cross. There it is in the distance. Don't know if you can see it on video. Oh, of course, now there's trees in the way a little bit there. But there it is. Wow. I've been waiting this whole journey to get to this spot. And we're finally here. Well, almost. About 100 meters away. But wow. There it is. So I did bring my rock. I got my little rock. Actually, it wasn't white. I said it was white yesterday. I looked at it last night. I'm like, it's not exactly white. It's more like a light amber color. Anyway, it's my little rock from Forest for the World in Prince George. So there's going to be a little piece of Prince George at the Cruz de Ferra, the Iron Cross, here in Spain. Okay, there. I'm going to bring it out to the front again. Just see it, a little bit of it there. There it is. Actually, I'm going to cross over here. There we go. There, a little easier walking. Oh, that wind is cold. Real cold. It's kind of misty up here. Yeah, it's a chilly morning. There's a bit of the forest. There's Brian back there. We left the rest of the gang. We left Jeff and Bill and the wives back at that last place where we had breakfast there. I'm sure they'll catch up to us here at the Iron Cross. And yeah. All right. I'll get some more footage here in a minute. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna walk up. Here's my rock. My rock from Prince George. Okay, here we go. Hi, you guys are here. Jeff and Brian just made it. Jeff, this is my rock. This is it. Yeah. Oh, there she is. I see Lisa coming up. Here it is. Where shall I put it? There it is. There. is that little house.